Hey guys, it's Sam. Now that I know what my planner setup is and I've been happily in it, I decided to mess everything up by sharing it with you. So I have continuously tried to put myself into a box. And for some reason, I have just thought that the perfect system has to be something that will go in one book, which has led me to try to make rings my everything book. I've tried different bullet journals. I've tried to do the Hobonichi cousin, which I really wanted to work. And I don't, it's not that it couldn't work, but I just really don't prefer a vertical weekly. It's not how my brain works. I wish the cousin came in a version that just had the days, but it doesn't. And I don't want to try other brands, so I appreciate your suggestions, but I'm pretty set in what I'm doing. But so I have these like flickers of thought where I'm like, you know what? You don't have to be in one book. And then for some reason, I think, no, to be effective, you need to have everything in one book. But that's just not what's going to work for me. And it's high time that I take that information that I know about myself and I do what my mind wants to do. So I've been testing this out and it's working. And it's not only working, it's working really well. And I feel like all of my boxes are being ticked. And honestly, if I look at my planner stack for 2023, having 4 books or even 5 books still doesn't compare to the amount of things that I bought to try to make this a one book system when it's clearly not going to be. So my mind just needs certain things compartmentalized, and that's okay. It's what's working for me, and so I'm going to keep letting the plan work itself. So my system goes as so. My personal rings is it the perfect size? Are there things about it that I do not or do not like or like more than others? All of those things. But I don't know. I just feel like this in the hand and on the lap feel the best. I really do like the width of an A6, but when I'm sitting like with my planner in the car or I'm trying to like car plan or whatever, I just feel like it's too wide. It's too long this way. I don't know. Something about it is awkward to me. So my personal rings is like exactly what you see here. It's the dirty lists, it's the brain dumps, it's messy, it's all of my little notes. Like I keep this open at work and I'm listening to YouTube videos as I work and I'm taking notes about things. And if I feel like I'm not going to get to my journal, I write things down really quick. Notes from books, and then my messy plans as far as just like getting dates on a calendar. So things that are going forward that are not like currently in view. I honestly don't reference my monthlies as much as most people probably do, but I don't generally have, like, this is a heavy month for us to have lots of things going on. And this is probably not a lot of things to most people, but this is a lot of things for us. We have a busier than normal month. And honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I don't even have everything listed. But anyway, so I don't worry about like what this looks like. I'm not referencing it a whole lot. I don't use it for memories. Sometimes I decorate it a little bit with washi tape. Sometimes I don't at all. This is working really well for me. And this is how I'm going to continue to use my planner. And then I took out the tabs recently. It's likely that tabs are going to come back, but I haven't had time to do it. So I've just been using, and I haven't used these in ages, but what I wanted was really thin papers. I didn't want to have to print, cut, punch. Sometimes I really love that, and sometimes I just feel like it's too much. Now that we've gotten rid of a desktop and we're working with laptops, we went from Windows to Mac, and it's a little bit more difficult in my head. I'm still like learning and I don't use it daily. So I just find all of those things just a little bit more difficult than I used to. So I'm trying to lean on printables a little bit less, even though I do enjoy them. So I've just been using the Filofax week on 2 pages. This is not what I'm going to use for next year, but I really liked using these. I went ahead and I slit them all, and I have the rest of the year in here so that I can write things down as they come. And this is working really well for me. I do want the whole like list on the one side, situation, so I'm going to be switching to that. But this just gives me like a really quick glance at where I need to be, which is what is most important to me in this style of book. This is just, where do I need to be and what do I need to get out of my head onto paper? And I've said it before, but for me personally, rings, it makes me not fear what I'm going to write down because nothing is permanent. And I also don't fear writing things down because I know if I need to write a big list about something, like recently with my weight loss and health journey, I'm writing down a lot of things that I want to remember. And I love that instead of having in a book like a Hobonichi Cousin, where you definitely could do all of those things because the pages are so big and you can write a lot of information down, I don't want to have to index and I don't want to have to leave about 30,000 tabs about information that I want. So as I'm writing these notes down, I just file them all together. Once I've decided this is information that I want to hold on to, I can compartmentalize it and it becomes useful knowledge that I can carry for years to come. One of the reasons why rings work so well for me. The next couple of pages here are personal pages about like my health and fitness and weight loss journey and all of that. You know, the lists of things, the movie logs, the wish lists. I have lists about my coloring for what colors I should wear. And then I have a whole crap ton of lists here going forward, planner thoughts, YouTube video ideas. And then I have one of these Filofax notebooks. It's actually for a Filofax original, but I stole it from my Filofax original. And then I'm gonna do a like low buy / no buy for next year. Everyone I know is shocked. I'm determined to make it work though. And I'm already starting to try to think of myself with more limits heading into it just so that I'm prepared. So this literally goes with me everywhere. I don't leave the house without it. This is I need this brain. My personal rings. Love this so much. So that being said, as much as I love personal rings to me is very functional. And I have never been like a scrapbooker or whatever, but the Hobonichi Weeks has become for me like that in my life. And every time I start to leave it, because there are things that there are things about it that irritate me. Every time I try to leave this book, I get sad about what I am missing. In the beginning pages there, I track my cycle, intimacy, any kind of offshoots with my female health. And it's really easy at a glance to see that. Again, I don't do a lot in here, but it is a little prettier, I guess, than in my personal rings. And I don't spend a lot of time decorating it. I kind of go through ebbs and flows. And then of course you see less on it in the months that I was not using it as much as other times. But I love this. These are the pages that I enjoy looking back through. And I'm not saying that because just carrying this around every day and mucking it up is saying that is something that I don't even appreciate with others. I love to see a well lived in, multiple ink colors, throw up all over the page Hobonichi Weeks. I just have not been able to make that a thing with me. So this is more like a looking back in a weekly format memory keeper. What I was doing, the things that I thought were important to habit track, little pictures here and there, the little emoji stickers that immediately like, oh, something good happened here. So what was that? Because I used a sticker. I don't use a lot, but these are things that I like to see about my life. And so the Hobonichi Weeks has found a permanent home in my system. I can't imagine not using a Hobonichi Weeks at this point, even though sometimes I want to throw it. I have several weeks that I still need to back plan here, but for the most part I have kept up with this planner throughout the year. Even if you don't see me talking about it, don't see it on my feed, I am using it. I absolutely love this. It's funny because now I use Unijet Stream pretty much everywhere, even at work. But I still do not like it in the Hobonichi Weeks, which is what it was intended to be. Instead, I use these pens. These are from the brand U Brands, and they're a felt tip pen, and I prefer them above any other felt tip pen. I have a link in my Amazon. In my Amazon link, I have them in my planner favorites. So yeah, really, really love the Hobonichi Weeks. I just don't love using it in the moment. And I like to just put, these are the favorite things that happen. So what I'll do at the beginning of the week, I'll draw my line, I'll do my I'll do my trackers and get it all ready for the week. And then I'll put things that are like date specific, like appointments or like 7 months no sugar. I'll write those things down, and then this is the little spot for memories. And this has been working so well for me. I'm using a regular weeks. I just don't enjoy journaling in the mega weeks. So this is what this book is, and I really, really love it. And yep, Hobonichi Weeks for my like memories. Next up, and this one I bought, I guess, at the beginning of the year, and I have purchased both the English planner and the Japanese version, which now they have an English version of that. And I thought that I was going to get that because I do like going in and out of that as like my planner, but I just need to come to terms with, I like daily lists, but I'm not a daily planner. I need to have that week view in my face to see what's going on. I guess I don't think of things like that, especially because I have like a very consistent schedule. I go to work, I come home, I work out, we eat dinner, and then my husband and I have downtime. I'm not doing a lot of like extra tasks. I'm thankful that my husband gets to work from home and for the most part keeps up on the chores. And so like errands and chores and things like that, I'm mostly doing on the weekends or days off otherwise, like vacation time. And so I don't need that like daily running to-do list because I don't have a lot to do outside of the normal, this is what my day generally looks like. So I usually have a lot of notes on a page on a weekend or time off, but otherwise a daily planner would be pretty blank for me. So this unfortunately has gotten very unused over the year, but I've picked it back up because I was like, I need to figure out my crap before the year starts to know what I'm doing, because I have this cousin that I bought like half price on Amazon to see because I ordered the one for the Han, whatever it's called. And now I know that I'm going to be selling that because the cousin is not the one for me. I did like the space, but for most days it's going to be too much. And I can usually get my words, even though they aren't on a video, I can usually get my thoughts into space of the A6. There's going to be very few times where that's not the case. And in that case, I can do like tip-ins or whatever to give myself some extra space. So I have been journaling in here consistently. And that's the thing too, is I've gotten out of the habit of consistently journaling. So I've been doing this for a bit now, and this is working out beautifully. I've just been using my fountain pen, well, one of my fountain pens, but I've just really been enjoying this. This is like the dark olive, I think it's called, Coeco. This is fine, and I've just been using some diamine, ancient copper, which I just really love that color. So this is like just my straight out kind of, these are the top level things that happened today in a longer form than the Hobonichi Weeks, but still not so much that I feel overly stressed about filling the page. I hope that makes sense. I have this in a cover from Sojourner. This is the Special Brown, and it's the designer pocket. And then this is Filofax Malden. I'm sure most people know that. And then this is a zipper Hobonichi Weeks cover from Moterm, and this is in the color Caramel. All right. And the last thing is the thing that you're really not going to ever see a lot of. And this is, let me see if there's a page. Is there a page that I can share? I feel like I shared one of these on social media. Let me see here. Okay, so this is Astrology in the B6 size, and this is my fitness diary. And honestly, I thought that I would find myself leaning into this journal more. This is where I expected to come and like talk about my highs and my lows. But honestly, like when you have a larger amount of weight that you want to lose, I just feel like, it's not like this is a month-long journey and this is the journey of the days, because this is 7 months at this point, and I still see myself needing probably a year to get to what I'd like to be for weight. It's not about the time, and it's definitely not about a specific number, but what I have found is that my difficult days have not been as difficult as I thought, and my highs have been like, it's not that they aren't meaningful, but I think that just being healthy overall has been such a transformation in my life that I don't think to like come in and talk about it as much as I thought that I would, because like the days are all kind of ish the same. I'm just coming in and plugging in and doing the thing every day. So every day I fast to some extent, and every day I'm eating low carb, and every day I'm working out. So I've had less things that I'm like, oh, I have to write that down, than I thought that I would. So it's definitely not as used as I would have thought. And I'm just going to keep going with this, because this doesn't have to be like, this is 2023. This is like all about my fitness. And so this can continue on through the rest of the book, whether that lasts through 2024 or the next 6 years. It doesn't really matter to me. I use a date stamper just to go, throw it in there and start writing. I usually use my Uni Jetstream to do my journaling in this. This is definitely not about anything other than getting the thoughts about my journey out of my head and onto paper. So I haven't even broken down and gotten a cover for this, because I didn't want it to be about the cover. I've definitely discovered that about myself. I find a cover that I think is absolutely gorgeous, and then I try to fit my planning system into the cover that I have. I can just see myself, carrying this around, and that leather is beautiful. And it definitely needs to start with the book and then the opposite of what I have sometimes done. So I do intend on adding one more book to my system, and I just haven't decided yet if I want it to be a Stalogy, which I really love, or a Leuchtturm. So I haven't ordered a second Stalogy. I do have a Leuchtturm, but it is the dot grid, and I don't know that that was the best decision. I initially thought, it doesn't have any heading on it, and so the whole page is basically blank. But dot grid isn't my favorite. I prefer like a grid or lines when I'm writing something. So I don't know. The idea is that would be like a commonplace book. And that could mean that I throw down some notes from a podcast or a YouTube video, nope, not here, in my personal rings. And then if I deem that, that's really good, because sometimes you write things down and you're like, I don't know. But like at the end of the day, when I'm sitting down to do these things, which doesn't take me long at all, to do this probably takes me 10 minutes. And if I need to add in something about this, it might be 15 minutes. So if I find something that's meaningful that I have jotted down in my rings, and it seems permanent enough to go into a bound book, I just haven't decided. I love the Stalogy, I love the paper, I love the grid size, but if I have that kind of book, I feel like I'm going to want to put it in a cover. And then the Leuchtturm I thought would be perfect because I don't have to put it in a cover. I can get the hardback so that I can write anywhere with it. And then it also has that closure on it already, so it doesn't have to have a cover. It's just, am I ready to make that final decision? So other than not having my like commonplace book set, which again is not going to have a timeline, that's going to be from whenever I decide on it till whenever the pages are done. It's not going to be like this is my 2024 commonplace journal, and I don't know that I will fill it up very quickly at all, but I just wanted another something like that to add to my system, and then I will be fully complete. But I am so at peace with, I don't have to force myself into one book, and these are the things that I need to make my brain happy in all of the ways that it needs to be happy. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Are you a one book person, or do you also find yourself compartmentalizing your planning, journaling, and all of that? Can't wait to chat with you in the comments below. If you did like this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future content, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.